and there is a lot on my mind. Today, we're diving into episode 2 of the Netflix documentary, Reality Check, Inside America's Next Top Model. Episode 2 is titled Still in the Running, and we see that the show really wants to outperform itself. It wants to create more extreme narratives, more extreme photo shoots and challenges, all at the expense of these models. In episode 2, we see a sit-down deep dive with cycle 2 contestant Shandi. I do want to provide a trigger warning because the content of this episode is sensitive. Shandi had one of the most inspirational stories on America's Next Top Model. She came from a small town working at Walgreens, and she was really that depiction of the ugly duckling, even though she was not ugly. I don't know why they tried to really drive that, but ugly duckling turned into the swan. She had a really amazing makeover and was a natural. She was killing it in photo shoots. I know it was a little rough with her walk, but she had so much natural potential. Shandi was really progressing and growing in the competition, and she even made it to the infamous international move. One of the most exciting parts of America's Next Top Model happened during the last half of the season, where everybody moved to an international fashion destination. One of the most disturbing and heartbreaking incidents that took place on America's Next Top Model happened when the girls had already moved to Milan during cycle 2. During the models' Go See challenge, they were driven around on mopeds with these hot Italian guys. Later on, they invited them over to hang out. They had some food, some drinks, a great conversation, but things definitely escalated, especially for Shandi. Throughout the season, we learned that Shandi was in a relationship with her boyfriend back home. You would see them talking on the phone and see pictures. While the guys are over, there is a lot of drinking going on. Eventually, a couple of people go to a hot tub, and Shandi and one of the guys are interacting very closely. It seems really flirty or really playful, but keep in mind, Shandi had not eaten and had been drinking a lot of wine. So she was getting to that point where she was getting ready to black out. We see them make out in the hot tub, and then eventually they go to Shandi's bedroom. The fact that this was on camera, the fact that no one intervened, they saw her drinking more and more. They saw that she could not consent. They saw that she was not in any position to be with any person that she just met in a foreign country. The fact that production, Tyra, no one stepped in and said, stop. No, that is absolutely disturbing.
We're now learning that Shandi says she was drunk, blacked out, and feels like production should have intervened to stop the situation from escalating further. Tyra Banks responded to this in the documentary by saying production decisions were not under her control.
Bull! The lack of accountability, and this is a theme that we see throughout the documentary. These girls were in your care. These girls were in your responsibility. The fact that you did not take control, you've been taking control of the makeovers and of all this stuff, but now when it comes to something serious, now, it's not my responsibility. Bull.
Executive producer Ken Mock said the show was treated as a documentary, which meant that cameras were rolling at all times. After the documentary dropped, here's what Shandi had to say about it on her own social media accounts. Well, the documentary is out, and now you know more of my story. After all of the years, the top model girls and what we went through were never forgotten. First picture is of me going right back to work at Walgreens, fresh with a makeover and a secret that had to wait to air. I smiled through it, knowing that my friends, my family, Eric's family, and strangers were going to know what I had done, what happened to me. At the age of 43, I continue to struggle with it, always smiling. That's why I took this opportunity, knowing that Tyra didn't have control over my narrative, that the director and producers here had my back. That's why I did it. She says, I did it for me because I mattered and I still do. The love I have felt today has been immense. Thank you to everyone that heard me.
I am so happy that Shandi had a platform to share her side of the story, because during cycle 2, Tyra and production, they definitely took control of the narrative because they framed this incident as Shandi cheating on her boyfriend Eric. During episode 2 of the documentary series, we also get a deep dive on the medical procedures that were framed as makeovers. Danielle Evans was the Cycle 6 winner of America's Next Top Model. There was a huge controversy on the gap. She was forced into having dental surgery to close the gap in her teeth against her will.
She was like, so if I decide to keep you, are you going to get your gap closed? And then that's when I was like, so what you're saying to me is, if I don't get my gap closed, you're going to send me home. Get the teeth done? All the way. You bring that like all the way. Congratulations. Still in the running towards becoming America's Next Top Model. And I went back to the house and called my mom immediately, just because she was always my voice of reason, always. And I was like, this is what's happening. Like, what should I do? She said to me, I'll be here to welcome you home. You don't get your gap closed, but you know you gotta come home if you don't get your gap closed. Like, is it worth it? Basically, is what my mom was saying.
Putting her in that situation.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no going home for me. I did not come all the way from Move Anywhere or Arkansas to get to turn around and go home. That's not an option. So I decided to play the game, and I got my gap closed.
That's exactly what it is. It's a game.
It's my life, and it was toyed with consciously. And me saying no, and them going against that is invasive.
With Danielle and the gap between her teeth, I myself was like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right. It's not necessary.
She looked great with the gap between
Exactly.
and perfection is born.
Thank you, Nigel. So the gap was her signature. That's what made her stand out. That's what made her unique. And in a competition series in the modeling industry, you need to stand out. That was maybe part of why they chose her, because she had that unique thing, but then because they wanted to create controversy on pressuring her to change it. So it was all strategic. They wanted to put her in this compromising situation. They wanted to put her in a pressure cooker of, oh my gosh, do I erase part of who I am for this? And I hate that they put her in that position. Usually your gap is what you are celebrated for. So being told that, hey, it's either you get it closed or getting you the boot, that's just so messed up. And it goes against everything that this competition show was about.
It's suggesting it, but forcing it is an insane thing for them to essentially demand from her. It just shows how out of touch Sarah is.
Yes.
And the irony is that a few seasons later,
Yes, with Chelsea. Yes, in later seasons, this girl has a natural kind of smaller gap and they want to widen it. So how do you go from wanting to force somebody to close their gap to be marketable in the modeling industry to then doing the complete opposite and wanting someone to widen and create more of a gap for their success in the modeling industry? Make it make sense, Tyra. Please make it make sense.
To exaggerate that and take you a little bit more alarm, make it as big as you want it. She already had a tooth gap, and then they went in and surgically widened it permanently. Getting that done for a reality competition TV show is just insane.
These are medical procedures. These are not just hair weaves.
That is absolutely ridiculous. What? I've actually apologized for the issue with Danny and what happened. That was between a rock and a hard place for me, because there were agents that would tell me she will not work with those teeth. It's just not going to happen. That's what they told me. And again, I could have just been quiet and let them handle it.
What about breaking those barriers? Everything that you set out to do with this show, keep the same energy. Keep that same energy. You fought for diversity in ethnicities. You fought for diversity in body types. So where's that same energy? Where's that same fight?
But that's hindsight is 2020 for all of us. It just so happens that a lot of the things that are 2020 for me happened in front of the world. Bull fucking shit. Me getting my gap closed is not opening any doors for me. You knew what you were doing for the show. If you were making good for TV,
Yes.
I get that hindsight is 2020, but that's just an excuse. Keep the same energy. Some other problematic moments that were featured in the documentary were centered around contestant Kenya.
I think Kenya is watching what she eats. That's what the judges keep telling her. That's what they keep complaining about. And I really didn't see that much progress. It was a little bit damaging to see them editing me eating the same bagels.
Yeah.
For example, showing me eating it as if I've eaten 3 different bagels, but it really was the same one.
And then having her like,
You're gaining a little weight. You can see that. No? Should be careful of that. Just try and pull it in a little more. It was definitely hard to see that maybe when I was just enjoying myself, having no idea that the cameras were really zooming in on certain areas, it definitely was a little bit damaging to watch with all of America to see that narrative play out.
yeah.
Not only was Kenya body shamed, she was not protected during a very uncomfortable photo shoot while in Africa.
Now, he was flirting with me. He was grinding on me. I felt like he really crossed the line.
If someone is harassing them, it can manifest itself in the photos, but it doesn't show. It's extremely professional.
No, it wasn't. She wasn't protected.
I can end up being eliminated for not doing so well on the shoot because of his actions.
Kenya immediately halted the shoot. She pointed out that the male model kept touching and teasing her while making audible panting sounds. She couldn't continue working, but the shoot demanded Kenya
Being a
complete the
complete
final few
creep,
shots.
and nobody
Attributing it
protected
to
her.
lack
They're
of
all
control,
right there. They
Kenya
can all
could
see
only
this.
keep responding to the boundary violations while fulfilling the shoot requirements. During the judging phase, the panel ruled Kenya failed to meet top-tier model standards.
No, you failed to protect her. Period. Point blank. Just the way, the manipulation, trying to spin and gaslight, like I can't. But that's reality TV for you. When Tyra was giving her critique, she was just like, yeah, you have to like playfully like let him know like, no, you can't do that. Like there's nothing playful about that situation. Why are we approaching this with such like lax? Like, no, this is serious. Now let's take a look at Tyra's response in the Netflix documentary.
I all understand the protections that women need. And so I say to Kenya, boo, I'm so sorry.
It's that continual like playful approach to addressing it. And the judging, she was coaching Kenya to playfully tell him, you know, hey, stop, and address his advances and making her feel uncomfortable. That same energy is right here. Oh, boo-boo, I am so sorry. When you really, really genuinely are sorry for something, it sounds so different. And it comes with accountability. None of that was present here. It's not fierce at all. During this episode, we also uncover the problematic photo shoot. Dion, she was involved in one of those photo shoots that depicted an act of violence. And what was really, really heartbreaking was to hear that her mother is actually a survivor of GV. We also heard from Whitney. She was the first Fiercely Real winner of America's Next Top Model, and she spoke about the difficulties after the show. America's Next Top Model promises a contract with an amazing top modeling agency, a $100,000 contract with CoverGirl Cosmetics, and really a kickstart into the modeling industry. However, Whitney shared how being on America's Next Top Model was a crutch, and how this caused her to get turned away from agencies, turned away from jobs, and it was kind of like America's Next Top Model was a joke. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and don't forget to leave a like. Please let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the Netflix documentary and any videos that you would like to see in the future. I really appreciate you joining me today. Your time, same internet. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.